all know it is probably not. Little chat with another slice of life. Biggles keeps talking about another villainess. And a tropeに越されているので、私たちはそれら忘れて分析します。It's the Biggles breakdown, another anime night, fighting all the shows and the plots. It's time for the Biggles breakdown. Breakdown.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Biggles Breakdown. My name is Biggles. I am joined with Crimson Law and Little Chad, my co-hosts.
My name is not Biggles.
Why not? We can all be Biggles. Would you like to be Biggles Law? And you can be Little Biggles?
What is this? Turning into Dr. Pepper. I'm a pepper. Are you a pepper? It's like, I'm a Biggles. Are you a Biggles?
Everyone is a Biggles.
Invisibiggles, Blue Biggles. We're gonna have like a million fucking alt accounts of just Biggles this, Biggles that, like Mazza.
Exactly.
I need to stop playing with this thing like it's a toy because I keep hitting shit.
You keep throwing your phone at people?
We're gonna have a Sentai style naming convention with Biggles. We are the Team Biggles. This
Team
is
Biggles.
Biggles Mets. This is Biggles Law.
This is Little Biggles.
The Biggles Vengers.
So I wanted to start with the shows that you guys haven't watched yet, just to do a quick talk about. So let's see if it has it on here already. Okay, cool. So Summer Pockets was on my list for so I didn't upgrade or update the list, the tier list. So I can't show where certain stuff is. So this one was on my just for the visuals. I watch it just for the visuals. It's about a boy trying to find himself, even though the boy isn't on this cover. It's only the girls. Like,
see, this one is so absolutely confusing after the first episode. Like, I don't know what to make of it. Like, there's the shirtless dude getting sniped by the fucking lolly in the tower. There's a chick who can't swim.
Well, she's not a lolly. She's just like a 16-year-old girl.
I know, but it's funnier to call her. It's funnier if I say it that way. And then there's the little cousin or whatever, the adorable little girl who he was playing rock, paper, scissors with.
What is her name? Umi.
Umi, yes.
Umi, yeah. She's my favorite. Let's see, what is this one? Nope. So Zatsu Tabi, that's Journey. So this is just like a wholesome anime where she's a manga writer and she's trying to get inspiration. So she asked Twitter, and Twitter's like, all right, go on a journey. And she goes on a journey to wherever Twitter tells her to go. I think it's just an anime to try to get you to go check out tourist locations or locations that don't get too often.
So like Okinawa last season.
Yeah. Where did I not? There it is. Okay, I wanted to get rid of that. All right.
Close out as many tabs as possible before it crashes your PC.
I know.
Right?
So none of you have watched Mono. So basically, Mono is this girl who was saw this girl take pictures and thought it was awesome. So she started taking pictures of that girl and joined the photography club. And then there's the girl in the white. She's like a manga artist, and she's basically retarded. And then this girl right here on the top is basically retarded as well. So it's like two fucking retards and this girl that just wants to take pictures, and they put the camera on the cat and they go take pictures. So I'll put this as a Biggles anime right now.
So what you're saying is this is a Yurei gateway drug.
Maybe. I don't even know if it's that.
No, if we're talking about Yuri gateway drug, that will be one of the other entries.
This is this is kind of retarded and I enjoy it. Okay. So this one is he's saying stuff. So he's starting to remember that he was from another world. It's an isekai. They get these powers and they're fighting. It's okay. I want to see episode 2 to see if I like it. But episode 1 was okay enough. So Food for the Soul. Basically, these are all college girls, and most of them need a club, but there's only 3 girls. 2 of these girls, I think it's this one and this one. they're childhood friends from elementary school, and they haven't seen each other since elementary school. And they meet up at college, and the first episode is them like eating some food. It seems pretty wholesome. Who knows?
So this one is
Uh,
the Ure gateway drug.
Possibly. I don't know. I don't.
No,
I
that's
don't,
not the one I was thinking of. I
I
got
think
this
you
one as a
think-
recommendation from one of my viewers on Saturday. So I'm going to be checking it out for the next stream where I do all the rankings and stuff. This is not the one I was talking about, though, when I said Yuri Gateway drug.
Compass is definitely a Uri gateway drug. But for dudes, no, I'm just kidding. This is a 5.
That would be yaoi.
Look at this. This is
Biggles
a
knows exactly what it is, Crimson. Don't.
no. Okay, so this one is a 5.4. I just watch it for the visuals, because it looks really cool.
The visuals.
The visuals. It's not even like fan servicey, I don't think. Actually, there might be a little bit of fan service. That one girl, the Joan of Arc character, but she's like Joanna or whatever, whatever. But so this one is kind of reminds me of Mega Man Battle Network, where it's like you have a partner, like a human partner, and then you have your digital partner. And I think they're inside like a video game world. I don't really know, because in episode 1 he was on the phone and they were playing like a mobile game. It's all right. It might be higher than a 5. Who knows? People don't think so. We did
The
that.
thing is,
and then-
I'm starting to. I'm really like trusting my anime list less and less and less as time goes on, because like there are some like shows that I think are genuinely good that are only getting like a, I don't know, like a 6 or like a low 7. I'm like, this is
Mhm.
easily an 8.
Mhm. And then Lazarus, I'm going to put on the back burner until like
I feel like
It's
Lazarus
finished.
should be higher than a 7.7, but we'll see.
I was about to say I give Lazarus an 8. Honestly, it's no Cowboy Bebop, but I'm liking it more and more as I watch it.
Sporking, you want a link? If you want a link, let me know, Sporking.
Harken the spork.
So I'm going to wait till this is finished, so I can just do a free trial and then binge it and then remove the service, because I think it's on Max and I don't
Oh,
have
Biggles,
Max.
you act like there's no other option.
Well, no,
I-
the other like I said last time, there was a big trademark sign, like a copy watermark in the middle of the show. So
We've talked about places where we watch things, so like I can say I have like 3 or 4 fucking links and I've never seen a copyright watermark on any of them.
all right, well maybe I'll try a different one. But right now I'm putting it on the back burner because this is still something I said I kind of want to binge. So let me hide that for right now. So guys, what anime? Oh, so let's talk about Apothecary Diaries. Because I did not put this on here, and Shaolin, what's her name?
Xiaolan.
Xiaolon.
Yeah, Jawan or Shawan, because that X sound is an S, so it's yeah. So Shawan,
Gotta love Chinese, right?
yeah.
Just
she-
like
at the-
cow cow is Sao Sao.
at the
Like
at
in
the
Chinese. Yeah.
at the end, wish I could, but up at 3 a.m. All right, fine, Sporking. I'll miss you. All right, so she gets in trouble at the end of the episode. Before that, they are still talking about the frog. Like, Mau, get it out of your mind. And then I hope all the ladies in waiting in Lady Wishu's thing all get the shit kicked out of them because they're very mean and they bully
need.
this poor
She
girl.
needs to fire all her fucking staff, but there are issues that come with that, according to like the story's own lore.
Mhm.
But like her life is just miserable compared to like any of the other concubines there. It is not a great experience.
Mhm. And like 3 of the 4 might be pregnant, so it's like at least she's not pregnant, you know.
I think right now it's only 2 because
Well, no, they made a thing that they think the other one is pregnant too. They specifically said that in this episode.
did they?
Yeah. Mao Mao specifically says it when she's doing her thoughts that she thinks that all three of the four.
I must have missed that part of it. I don't remember ever seeing something like that in there, but I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, remember, I got to focus more on the reading when it's a sub, so I'm just like, I can't see anything else, only the sub words. So then I have to rewatch it and try to see what I missed. But yeah, this episode, Gingy puts his foot down. He's like, why would you do this to the girl? You know, and it was a fun mystery too, finding out that the mirror like had a hidden face on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. So what do you guys think?
I liked the episode, like genuinely, because again, we kind of have a similar situation to what happened with like I forget, the Crystal Pavilion, I think it was, where they were like poisoning the concubine by accident because they weren't taking the medical advice seriously. But this time it's Jinshi doing it, and he's basically like indirectly threatening them, like, you know what you're doing is wrong, and I know what you're doing. So you better straighten your act up before I do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
He was very passive aggressive in the way he handled it, but it was very effective, and I liked it.
Little
Is this one
Chad.
going? No, I liked it. I like when it show like Apothecary Diaries keeps going, gets back on track. We we talked about how they had their fun episode, and now we're doing more of the discussion. I like that this one has more going on. That's what I like about Apothecary Diaries. It's not, you talk about the shows you watch for the animation.
Mm-hmm.
Apothecary Diaries has great animation, but you're not watching it because it's stellar. You watch it because the story is engrossing, which was actually going to get me to just double check with Crimson, since he's always the expert. Is this one going a full 24 for this season 2?
Yes, we're into core 2.
Yeah, so cool. So we're probably, in terms of story arcs, right? So if we're at episode,
I think 14.
Yeah, so this is
Yeah, it's
episode 14.
Yes.
So we should be getting close to wrapping up this one and getting one more that will finish before the end of the season.
Well, we still got to see an end to the like the foreign ambassadors thing. That's been looming in the background for quite some time now.
And they brought it up again in this episode.
Yeah, so whatever's going on right now has a whole lot to do with whatever that stuff is. And I'm really curious because the Apothecary Diaries always does a really good job of tying all this stuff together. So I am really curious as to how all of this pertains to what the foreign ambassadors are up to.
Yeah, and this is one where I stick anime only. I haven't gone to read or look at this one. So everything that's coming up is new for me. Sometimes, like when me and Crimson are talking about ReZero, and we're like, "Oh, Biggles, you just wait. You don't even know. You don't even know what's coming."
You're like 200 chapters from now.
I'm gonna stop hyping up Arc 6 and Arc 7 because I just want him to go into it with no expectations and just experience it raw.
Biggles, he wants you to feel it raw. That's what
raw.
Deep and hard,
raw.
boys.
It's only gay if you're the receiver, okay?
This is like I want Biggles to be treated like Biggles is on the NTR end of this ReZero experience, getting it raw.
No, I was actually kicking around doing another like ReZero like deep dive video here soon because there's been a topic about that I've wanted to talk about for quite some time. So may contain some Arc 6/7 spoilers if I end up doing it.
You know what? We can do a show on just ReZero if you want. And I'll get some more people that love ReZero and we can all talk about it.
Well, we can do that, sure, but I still want to do my autistic deep dive on that because I like doing that kind of content for my channel.
Yeah.
I am also contractually obligated to mention ReZero every anime stream.
Yeah, it's what he gets paid for if we made any money.
The contract, and I made that contract with myself. So, because
All right.
yeah. So this is yeah. So this is I mean I don't we're what now 38 episodes into Apothecary Diaries. I mean,
Mhm.
if you have been watching it, you know what you're getting. It's a top shelf anime that you're going to enjoy. I like Crimson said, I think that my thought is that the ambassadors are going to be the last story arc of this season. But with Apothecary Diaries, I don't know. That could still end up being backburnered even for later, and they could have something else pop up. It's interesting.
That
Mhm.
is a fair point. Because the overall plot, I think, right now is whatever this
Frog.
not the frog. Fuck off.
That's all they keep talking about.
No, whatever the like main. I think it might get backburnered for the like overall conspiracy of the show. Is what I
Mhm.
would probably end up getting backburnered for.
Well, last week I met the voice actor for Jinchi, and I was like, I was following you on Twitter, and all you just kept saying was frog, frog, frog.
What it's
And
like
then
following fucking blabs on everything.
and
Frog.
his wife was the person like that like would take the money and like before you get to him, and she just started laughing and was like, you can't be doing that all the time. Like, stop saying frog. But you know what doesn't have a frog that I have theories on? The anime called Crimson's New Waifu.
Kulon generic romance.
Yeah. So
First, that's how they seem to pronounce it in the sub. So I'm imagining that it's pronounced Kulon,
I
and that's
think so.
supposed to be like a Japanese long O.
Kulung. I don't know.
Is this
I can't read normal English, so reading Japanese English.
like it's weird sometimes when it becomes an anime and it's adapted from Korean or Chinese. So I don't. Do we know the country of origin for the source material?
I believe it's a manga, so
This
Japanese.
Japanese. I don't know. But okay. So
He doesn't know.
yeah, I don't know. I can't read. Okay, so this anime, I have theories. I have lots of theories. Okay.
The
so
only reason I say that because it's set in Hong Kong,
Yeah,
so it
but,
makes me think it might be one of the Chinese ones.
I don't think it is Chinese.
So it's like Apothecary Diaries and Kingdom. So it's Japanese, but it's set in China.
Yeah.
At least that's what Marcel and Crimson just said. So I have theories. So the first episode, he's saying all this stuff, and then the second episode, it shows that was shit that she used to say, but she doesn't remember. And then they always mention the pharmaceutical company. And then he said he doesn't trust the thing that keeps showing in the sky because they're trying to create a new Earth. So I think what happened is maybe something happened to the original her, and they like cloned her or made like a new version of her, and he's trying to get back that old her. And that's why the first episode he would say stuff and do stuff trying to get her to remember as if it's the same person.
Well, right now there isn't a whole lot of information as to what we can do. What we know effectively is that Reika doesn't remember much of her life. She actually states that she doesn't have many memories of before a certain point. Like she can't remember anything of there. We also know that she looks exactly like the person in the photo, and that the guy she's in love with used to have a girlfriend named Reika who looked exactly like her. So there are a couple of possibilities. The clone thing you're talking about, that's one. I mean, right now, what seems to be the case is some sort of memory erasure.
What about the wrinkles?
You're not going with virtual reality environment where the real Reika is in there, and this is like
I was about to say
their
there's
way
the
to try to
virtual,
trigger her memories.
the virtual reality version of it. is a thing that you could do, or she just never existed in the first place, and this is all one elaborate psyop, and this generic Terra thing they're doing is all around her already, and she's just like the test subject or something.
I like Biggles' thoughts because that kind of makes me. We've seen this frequently in anime the last, I don't know, 15 since SAO. You kind of did that arc, the Alicization arc, where we had Kirito forget that he was Kirito, and we had people talking to him, and he is not remembering. And then we've had other shows where they're in a VR environment, and they see these clues to their past lives, either because their subconscious is putting it in there, the programmer is consciously putting it in there. So I mean, it seems too on point, like Biggles is saying, for those other ones, for it to be, I think, something else. That I'm putting my money, my marker on some kind of virtual environment where I don't think clone. I think she's like in a coma or something in a virtual environment where they plugged her in, and this is their way to try to trigger her memories.
So it's like the Matrix.
I don't really have enough information to say one or the other. I think
Make up
right
your
now,
Then
well,
see
mine
who's
is
right at the end.
mine was that like she just never existed in the first place.
Okay, so clone never existed in the first place of virtual reality. Find out next time on Who Wins.
Like she's just a figment of whatever this whole system is.
Yeah.
Now the
That's
other
effectively
theory,
my point, Marcel, is she's just a part of the program and she never really existed in the first place.
yeah. So that we're basically, the program has read his memories and created this virtual female named to. But that's why that would go with the fact that the voice is different, because usually they'll keep the voice actors the same when between flashbacks and
Well,
the other one, if it's the same person.
It's much akin to like you can very, very, very easily mistake in season 2 of ReZero, you can mistake Satella for Amelia very, very easily, even though they are actually different people.
Well, in the
In
first
English,
episode
don't they use
Amelia-
the same voice actor?
They do, and the whole point is that Amelia is supposed to be almost a perfect recreation of the Witch of Envy. That's why she gets so much flack from everyone.
And that's why she tells. Well, in the first episode, she's not Amelia; she's Satella.
Well,
What?
she's just trying to be nice and put some distance between herself and Subaru because she's worried about what it'll do to him.
Hey! Doesn't matter. In the first episode, she's
Hey,
Satella.
this isn't supposed to be about ReZero. ReZero isn't airing right now, okay? We're already
Let's
getting
go.
sidetracked.
ReZero number 1, right?
Yes.
Right,
I'm
Kristen?
sorry, Biggles, but don't you know that women will often give a fake name to a strange man they may meet that starts following them around? I mean,
Yeah, exactly. That's why
you say
I
it
always-
like that.
That's
It
why-
sounds so funnier.
That's why I always use the name Crimson Law when I meet people
Oh
and stalk
God!
them. No, I'm just kidding.
we're throwing you out of this bar for being inappropriate to the ladies. What's your name? It's Crimson Law. Don't you forget it. I have a
Don't you
YouTube-
He's
ever
not using.
forget.
Luckily, I don't go by Crimson Law in real life.
I have a YouTube channel. Follow me. Like and subscribe.
Watch
I do
me do
anime
deep-
deep dives.
to
Watch me
make
do
like fucking
autistic
Johnny
deep dive.
Somali.
So yeah, I didn't realize that there's 2 different voice actors, but I guess there are right there and right there. Look at that. Boom, boom. So Yao Mei, the girl who just gets a whole bunch of plastic surgery, she's like, I've had plastic surgery from my head to my feet. What if number 1 is just all plastic surgery?
I was about to say, what if one of the characters in the plot right now is like the real Reika, and the one we're following now is just the person who basically got like body swapped with?
What
Has anyone-
if
You guys
this
have
old
seen,
guy is her? No,
I mean, that would be hilarious. But you guys have seen Vanilla Sky, right? The movie with Tom Cruise and
no.
all right. And so movie.
I'm gonna have to say no. I've never seen that. Sorry.
It's well, I bring it up. It was a Cameron Crowe movie. Tom Cruise was in it. It was around the 2000s, and it ends up, like you're watching the movie starts getting progressively weirder, and you don't know what's going on, and it turns out he's in and I'm not worried about spoiling a 25-year-old movie, so he turns
I
out
wouldn't blame you.
It turns out he's in like a virtual reality environment.
How'd you ruin that on me? No, I'm just kidding.
And his
Yeah,
and his own like guilt was overriding. Like it was supposed to be an ideal like world for him to just enjoy and chill while he was frozen, in like cold sleep. But his subconscious had a lot of guilt issues, so it started overriding and making things terrible. Like he ended up in prison and all this other stuff, and he eventually remembers what's going on, calls out for tech support, and the guy's like, "We didn't do any of this. That was your own subconscious punishing you." So it's not like this is a new concept where they could be playing around with a virtual reality environment being altered by subconscious thought. It's a very anime kind of concept to go with.
yeah, it's a pretty pretty standard thing, honestly. There are a lot of ways you can take this, so I really don't like to speculate too soon because I've learned my lesson with that. Though it is fun.
I don't trust this dude if you can see my pointer.
Oh, the doctor? Why the hell would anyone trust the doctor?
Dude, that guy's creepy as fuck. And then Kudo
Yes.
makes it sound like don't fucking trust anybody from that company. So I'm going to go with him. Now, Crimson hasn't caught up on Windbreakers, but the fight in episode 2, very good. What do you think, little Chad? Very good?
I mean, it's top notch. I mean, Windbreaker is what are you watching Windbreaker for? I don't know. Like when you're into the second season on a show, it needs to just keep doing what it does well and do it well and animate it well. Thank God we haven't had a One Punch Man style degradation of quality in animation, because that's always like when we get the second seasons of our shows or our continuation seasons, the biggest risk for a lot of these shows, in addition to the manga writer completely tanking the ending, Oshinokun or
Oshinoko, yes.
Oshinoko, I'm looking at
Muffler
you.
Tape's here. He'll tell you all about how furious he is.
Yeah. Or like when we get to My Hero, how it's like, no, we demand an additional chapter. We demand it. We demand an epilogue that is satisfying.
Just fucking give us one more chapter, asshole.
So if you avoid the manga writer issue, the bigger and more common problem is anime studio screw up where they redesign the character models and it's not good, where the animation quality goes down, they cut the budget so you can't do things. Thank God we haven't got the beginning after the end level PowerPoint presentations, because
yeah.
So Windbreaker is keeping at its
like I said,
level.
I'm reserving my thoughts for a video later this week, but yeah, PowerPoint Tensei ain't not even going into that show blind would have saved my opinion of it. It would have salvaged my opinion of it. But yeah, you're right. Going into the second season, you always run the risk of getting into something like Tokyo Ghoul.
Well, season 2 is going to be better than season 1. I'll tell you that now. So Muffler Tape says, "What up, weebs? Sorry for late. I miss anything spicy." So now we have a thing going on for Kowloon,
generic romance.
I think she's a clone. Crimson thinks she's never existed at all, and little Chad thinks they're in a virtual reality. So we have theories going, and then I guess if you want to say something spicy, the frog gets mentioned again.
I'm just gonna say that first episode of Reika and Kulon generic romance.
Crimson has a new Wi-Fi, a wife, a new wife,
It's
not a new
well, if she's
Wi-Fi.
virtual, it's his Wi-Fi waifu. So there you go.
I'm just saying she had me down pretty bad for a couple of days there.
Oh, we got another one. Muffler Tape says alien. All right, we gotta like get this going on a thing and like who seems to be more right each week.
Is this gonna be like a betting bracket? All right, we got.
We'll have a betting bracket.
Well, the thing is, like, I only say that just to spice things up. So sure, why not?
All right. Let's see. Let's go back to here. Vigilantes. We get Eraserhead. Eraserhead is here in this episode. He shows up at the end of episode 1.
He's such a beloved character. It's like, it's like slipping Wolverine into every Marvel comic in the 2000s, where they're like, oh, how do we give this comic a boost in sales? Just throw Wolverine as a guest star. Like, how do we make sure Vigilante pops like in its first few episodes? Just
Midnight
put it in
and
Midnight Eraser.
Midnight was in it in the first one. They showed her.
I know.
And so was All Might. He was just like, Detroit Smash, goodbye, citizens. Like
one does not see Midnight and not remember. This is, you are gonna notice.
Isn't she right here? Is that her? Can you see my mouse?
that does look like her, yes.
Yeah.
Is that her?
Looks like, yeah, I believe that's her.
She's got more clothes on in this one.
That's her. Isn't that her white jumpsuit?
Yeah, but it looks like she has more clothes on.
No, she's just turned into a profile view. You're used to looking at her straight on.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Knuckle Duster is the Dark Knight confirmed. Mega cool. So Eraserhead is in this, and he's like, all right, this guy clearly has a perk that like makes him stronger. Turns it on. He just fucking throws Eraserhead, and he's like, all right, we're done. Clearly you're not misusing your quirk. And then he's like, bye. And then he like ends up helping out against the giant big ass monster. He's like, this is my day off. He makes a phone call. Like, I don't know. I like this more than normal My Hero. And the reason why I say that is this is more comic booky. And like when they hit things, it will be like pow sometimes. And it'll have like the comic book feel. And like the art is more comic booky, and I really like that.
I like this because my favorite like superhero character, I use superhero loosely, is Batman. Not for like all the Batman can beat anyone with prep time stuff. That's bullshit. Specifically because I like the crime fighter elements that come with Batman's character. So this doing a little bit more like the crime fighter stuff and actually like getting into like dealing with a drug trade and all that kind of stuff, that intrigues me. I like that they're using some like not like really ridiculous powers. Like this dude is a human scooter and Pop Step has springs in her shoes. But I like the crew so far. They're interesting to me. And yes, Pop Step does have assets. She does. Although apparently they've censored her.
Pop Step is such a funny. It's like I love it when My Hero just comes up with these like best genist. Pop Step. Like you start realizing that in a world where 80% of the people have quirks and would have registered like superhero names, you're gonna start running out of just generic kind of. You gotta have to have like some.
Well, some of them end up getting passed down, like Ingenium, who we actually do see in the
original one,
intro.
Yeah,
the original Ingenium. So remember, Tenya Ida ends up becoming the next Ingenium. So it's not unusual for something like that to happen, but you are correct. Like when a lot of people are trying to apply, you technically have to be a registered hero to have a hero name. But when there are a lot of registered heroes, are people taking like the hero course, you're gonna run out of cool hero names.
Hey,
very fast.
Did I say she had assets without even realizing it, or is he saying I was correct at what I said, and then he said Pop Set has assets? I don't know. And Marcel says, I actually like these characters better than the original. MC isn't a whiny, and Pop Step is pretty easy on the eyes. So, also no screaming psychopath.
Yeah, so I've got a
Hey,
chibi.
hey.
Go ahead.
Bakugo is just awesome. Okay, he's not a screaming psychopath.
So I've got a Chibi had posted a side by side of manga versus anime. So this is anime,
Okay.
and this is manga. So you can see what they're talking
Oh, so
about.
she has. Oh, she has a bigger butt.
You see where they also kind of added more covering.
They gave her underwear.
Well, I mean, she has underwear. They're just more playful.
Yeah. Okay. So this scene right there that you just showed, that's
Yep.
where she's like, "Here, I'll give you my phone number so you can text me when trouble happens."
She's basically just like the fucking group's image management.
I
Their
run your
PR
socials.
girl.
I'm gonna run your socials. I'm gonna make sure we Insta this shit.
Pop
See
Step
you later.
basically being the ultimate PR girl is just funny to me.
All right. Should
There
I
you
switch
are.
back to the other
Yeah,
thing, or
switch
you
back.
want me to? Okay.
No, you can
I wasn't
switch
sure.
back.
I wasn't sure if you wanted me to keep that on or not.
I mean, well,
I do like My Hero Academia, just to like interact with chat here a little bit. I do enjoy the characters, and I have a very high tolerance for annoying characters. The ones that like piss me off are the ones that just are gonna whine for the entire fucking show. Takamichi Hanagaki,
Who?
main character of Tokyo Revengers. Don't ever watch
Oh.
that shit.
Okay.
But like I don't mind the characters from My Hero Academia like some people do. But I do genuinely so far like the characters from Vigilantes more. I think they're just a little bit more interesting, a little bit more my speed.
This is hurtful. The only thing I ship Bakugo with is a bunch of dead bodies. Because I feel like that's Bakugo after he kills them. No, I'm just kidding.
So you're into necrophilia.
I think Bakugo is a necro. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Okay. Anything else on the show? Dude, Deku's annoying. I hate Deku for 70% of the show.
I like the being able to have fun in the world of My Hero. I think My Hero is so wrapped up in the main arc with Deku and Shigaraki and the One for All versus All for One and all that it's nice to pop out and give an opportunity, like Crimson said, to look at the actual crime fighting part. Like, how does that work? I mean, we see, we were in the beginning of My Hero, we get a lot of the mechanics, but we kind of moved on from that. I think starting when the villains attacked the test, I think what was that, second season in the
That would
anime?
be season 2, yeah.
But from there on,
or was it season 3? I think it was season 3.
Well,
actually.
are we talking about when they're in the forest?
no, when this is before that, when at the school.
Oh, that would be
That's season 1. Season
Yeah,
1.
season
Like
one.
the end of season 1.
Yeah, the end of season 1. That we get the villain, like when the villains really make their move, and we see like the counter to what the heroes are learning in the school. My Hero still did a lot of some of the world building stuff, but you always had those other parallel things that were taken, and there's only so much real estate in an anime and in a manga. So having the spin-off where you can just really get into the nitty-gritty of crime fighting, I think is fun. It's a little, and you don't have the baggage of the Shigaraki stuff, the One for All for One stuff. I mean, it frees you. So because remember, like we're still in Japan, so we can get the pop-ins from our favorites like Eraserhead and Midnight. But I would also love to see, like, I know we already killed her off, but what was the America's Hero was
Stars and Stripes.
Stars and Stripes. Like this is the kind of thing where you could start doing spin-offs.
Talk about wasted fucking potential with that one.
Well, she did do the most important thing and destroy like 80% of his quirks. So,
yes, but I still feel like the character was wasted. So,
and they also said if they were going to kill All for One first, and then she just showed up and they got lucky. So they were afraid of her. Let's see what this says. I agree 100%. Also, I can't stand to see Shigaraki anymore. Just get it over with. Yeah. I know. I was hoping she'd be in more episodes, but whatever. She did her important part, and then they fucking left her. Okay.
I mean, you give someone that badass intro flying in on like a B2, just
Yeah.
standing on it, like, and then you're like,
Well, you know they need Japan to be the heroes, right?
It
So-
still would have been cool to have her like fight in the main war though. Like they could have had her deal with like a completely different villain while everyone else was like still doing like the main shit. And they could have given her like a really, really good fight. Like when she goes up against Shigaraki and All For One realize that this isn't a fight that they really want to deal with right now. And they back the fuck off and she fails to, end it and ends up in Japan, fights someone else, and Deku does his thing. Still would have been pretty satisfying to have her around for the final battle because you could have done some really cool stuff with her. Unfortunately, we don't get that though.
It's because they hate.
They end up killing her off because she would have been too much of a problem, apparently.
So, as men of culture, we now have. Please put them on, Takami-san. So, what do you guys think? Takamine, sorry. So, what do we think of this one?
So like you're already starting to see like that she is kind of into into Protag Kun in this one.
What is Protag Kun's name, anyways?
I forget.
panty holder, human closet,
Closet.
whatever. Closet.
Okay, yeah,
We'll
closet.
I think we just call him Closet.
Shirota. Yeah, we're going to call him Closet. So she likes Closet. Peak culture.
See, this is what I'm kind of sad to see. He's only got like a 6.19 because it's actually a decently like well thought out and written ecchi series for once. Like
Well,
it
you
isn't
know
just
what they
boobs in your face. They actually have something like interesting with it and some like decent character writing so far.
They saw boobs and they're like 5.
Let's
Well,
not
most
even,
people just shit on ecchi
Ecchi.
just because.
There's a whole
and
movement
that's
to
the
try to
big issue
completely
with-
remove ecchi from existing. So,
Well, there's also like
Well, my anime list, this is one of the big things like I have a problem with it, is a lot of people will come on here and just bomb the scores because they don't like a certain genre or they just don't like the anime in particular. They don't like the idea of it. So a lot of times that's what happens is you'll get like post-COVID weebs coming in and just like downvoting this show because they don't like it because it has too much fan service and they're fucking teens with no fucking chest hair whatsoever.
which
well, she doesn't give him a bone because otherwise she'll lose her powers.
yeah, it's the eternal virgin road. So that's how.
If it doesn't end with them doing it, well then what the fuck is the point of the show?
It's going to end with him getting strap on.
No. Silence that thought, you wonk.
Okay, so the show.
Look, the show actually for an ecchi show is it's actually the tension. It was pretty well written. Like when he's in that class and he accidentally puts him on, but not quite all the way, and he knows she's going to end up embarrassed if she has to stand up. I mean, that was a tense moment. I was like, what is he ever going to do?
No, it's one where they're actually putting in some effort to the story, and that's why I enjoy it. Most ecchi series, I have a problem with them because they do not put any effort into anything other than boobs in your face, and that's the other one I watched tonight. It was Machina Sans a Love Bot. That's the other one I watched, and that one drives me crazy because that's literally all it is. It just exists so that the main heroine is on screen with no clothes on.
So it's a fan service only.
Crimson,
so
life finds a way, man. Life finds a way.
So you're saying it's not as good as Baha Neko?
I am going to reach through the internet and fucking strangle you. You better pray that I am not armed the first time we fucking meet, okay?
Aw, how cute. He's threatening to shoot me already. I'm
not gonna fucking shoot you. I'm gonna stab you in the balls, bitch.
Sexy. I like it. What are you going to do?
You're
Step
not
on me
beating the
afterwards?
Dami
What are
Mommy
you going to
allegations,
do?
dude.
Step on me next? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't worry, I'll take any joke.
You're not beating the Dami Mommy allegations, dude.
I mean, on a scale of 1 to Biggles, Takamine is probably definitely a Biggle. Like she's full on level 10 Biggles Dami mommy. Like I hold over you the time traveling threat of incarceration if you don't do what I say when I say it.
No, and I'm pretty sure they'll get to the point through which I've read in the manga. But like through volume 3, I think is where I got before I set it aside for other things. You will like see that like she is like genuinely like romantically interested in the guy, and there are some like reasons for that, but
Can I say, and this is just a theory because I obviously haven't read any of the manga on this one, that we're gonna find out that even though she's time traveled using her power to fix all the problems she's had, but I'm guessing in all these parallel lines where before she fixed things, he's probably jumped to her defense numerous times. And even though she wipes that out, she remembers it because they've been in school together since elementary. And that was a highlighted point. And we've got a girl who can time travel to erase any mistake or embarrassment that's ever happened to her. That doesn't mean that whenever those things have happened, she remembers everything. So whenever those other things would have happened, he might have constantly over the years been the one trying to jump in and help her, just like he did in the classroom where in this last episode where they weren't all the way. And I think that's something we might end up finding out, that she really likes him because he's always had her back, and she's just playing with him for fun because she likes him that way.
I don't think I've quite seen anything like that in the manga yet, but like I said, I didn't make it very far in, so we'll see how well that holds up. But I could see it actually being the case.
How does no one notice that he's like going over there all the time? She's like, I dropped my eraser, and then he's down there for like a minute and a half. How long does it take to pick up an eraser?
Because ecchi anime logic.
Does she like freeze?
Not to
time?
mention the amount of space between desks in that classroom is ungodly. That he was able, like that eraser, that there was like 4 feet for him to get down there, stay crouched, and like do that whole
Yeah,
thing.
if you think about it too long, it does start to like come apart at the seams. But for an ecchi series, it's one of the better written ones. So like it actually tries to do a story. That's what I was saying.
I choose to believe that she's used her time travel powers and influence to make sure all of these events are set up.
I can see that.
This is like the
I
Bill.
respect that decision.
This is the Bill and Ted system. Remember the first Bill and Ted? Wait, we'll go after we're done. We'll go back and we'll put something out there so it'll distract him, and then we'll be able to get out of here. so she's like, man, it would have really been much better if the desks were further apart, so he could have put those on me in class. So she used Eternal Virgin Road as the student council president. She went to the school and said, the desks need to be spaced out further for education and to help us, be able to learn better. I think this is one of the most tightly written time travel stories we've ever had.
It's the best time travel story ever written.
I think you may be giving it a little too much credit, but you know what? I like the headcanon, so I'm rolling with it too.
I was also going for the pun right there, and no one laughed, but that was fine. Tightly written.
Oh, I get it now. All right.
No.
And
by the way, I've seen so much terrible time travel. It's funny. The 2 shows that I've seen, aside from this one where I'm headcanoning it, Date Alive had some of the soundest time travel logic you'll ever see in a long form story, and I was like, God damn it, this show shouldn't be it shouldn't work that well for the time travel stuff. That's messed up. Why? I was like, the show should be terrible, but it's not. It's good. Kurumi,
I think
number 1.
I think there's a lot of people who would get really mad if they heard you say this show should be terrible.
What, Date Alive?
Terrible.
Yes.
Well, look, if I sold you that concept, the Date Alive concept, You're telling me that you wouldn't expect it to be a terrible, like cheesy bad anime?
Oh, I absolutely would have.
I guess we get to vamp now, so we can talk about Date Alive for a second. Because look, for everybody who needs to kill
What just happened? Where did he go?
if you check the private chat, he said he had to step out for a second.
Okay.
So yeah, Biggles is stepping out, so we'll vamp here. So yeah, Date Alive, you've got like 5 seasons now, and they're all in dub. If you're the kind of person like Biggles who needs words in English, so it's easy to kind of plow through. And man, once Kurame got introduced, that show hit the whole next level. And she was did you watched it, right, Crimson?
I have not watched it.
You
I just
haven't?
know there are some guys who I am friends with on YouTube who have watched it and who love it. So
Like what? Like what?
Date Alive.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I've
It's
heard
got
of it.
5 seasons with a dub. You know,
5
the whole
season with the dub.
all dubbed.
Sounds
So you
like
should
something.
you should watch it. It's in like 100 girlfriends, because there's, I think at the end there's about like 9 girls. They give
He
you all
doesn't
the
even
main
have 100
archetypes.
girlfriends. How dare he?
Oh, thoughts on Steins Gate since we're on time travel? Yeah, Steins Gates is another. Time travel is very overused, so you've got to make sure you've got a whole plan when you're going to do it.
see, nothing beats Doctor Who, at least up until Peter Capaldi.
Nothing beats Attack on Titan's awful time travel. It's the best.
The way Doctor Who just wrote off every mistake that could ever happen by saying it's a bunch of timey-wimey gobbledygook, so just go with it.
It's a bunch of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey
Wimey.
stuff.
Biggles wishes he had on.
Hi, sub.
I don't know that Biggles could keep up with Rentaro and
Yeah.
being able to sense Shuze like whispering from 100 miles away to like speed run and to save her.
Biggles is too retarded to interact with a woman properly.
Yeah, I mean, after the brain damage, I don't even think they even know how to talk to me anymore. Just like,
It's the other way around. You don't know how to talk to them.
Biggles is like Garth
they don't
from
know
Wayne's
how to-
World.
they don't
It's
know
like
how
they
to
come
talk
up and
to
be
me.
like, Biggles, I love you. And he just goes, thank you. I appreciate that.
So while I was out of town, someone walked up to me and was like, I love you, Biggles. And I go, pat on the head. And
That's
I was
cap.
like, me too. I didn't know what to say. And I just saw an anime. They're like, they would pat him on the head after that. So I just did that.
Was it a dude?
No, it was a girl.
Are you sure?
I am 100% serious.
Okay. Follow up question.
Did you do the Leorio test?
It's like,
No.
you know that if a girl says that to you, they're not related to you, right?
No.
All right. If a girl says that to you, that's a flirt invitation.
I just assumed they they were just being nice. I don't know. So I just patted her on the head and said, me too, and then walked away.
Jesus Christ.
I told you guys I'm retarded. Okay, so he just wishes he was on the world line where he gets those girlfriends. It would probably require apocalyptic what is that word? Little Chad?
Devastation. I believe that's supposed to be devastation.
You can pronounce apocalyptic, but not
I know that.
Devastation.
I know that word.
But not
On a
devastation.
planetary scale. No. Planetary scale to exist through I know you. Okay, so let's move these around again. Okay. All right. So which one? I know you guys loved it and you put it in overall solid last week. Do you still
just
love
think
it
it's
after episode 2?
It's a fun time.
Yes,
So-
I still love it after episode 2.
So
yeah, I mean, have you warmed up and gotten right in the head?
yeah.
Because I don't know, like the first
started to
episode was so light and funny. I don't know why you were so down on it.
No, I wasn't down on it. I just didn't care about any of the characters in the first episode. or what was going on. I just really liked watching it because I liked the visuals and the character design. But this episode, I started to care. Like they made multiple Dragon Ball references. They made an Attack on Titan reference when she's like, "It's a Titan." When she grows herself, she fucking makes the dude's head really big. And
My favorite references were the Hunter x Hunter references. Did Gone Freaks just show up?
so I've never seen Hunter x Hunter, so I didn't. I knew that was a reference to something, but it was something I didn't know. And then there was one other anime that they referenced that I couldn't remember. Um, uh,
Oh, they referenced Demon Slayer
yeah, Demon Slayer.
when she reversed gravity on everything in the class. She's like,
What
oh,
is
the
this? The
teacher's like,
Infinity Castle? Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Did I just walk into the Infinity Castle?
So the key for Biggles to just sign off on an anime is just it referencing other anime. Like
Well-
the reason, the way we finally got you hooked on 100 Girlfriends is when they started making Dragon Ball jokes within the anime.
Right? Right?
I think that's when I started watching it. No, I started watching it a little before that. But it was the Shizuka moment where she was just like, "Help." And he's like, "Psh, back from the dead."
I'm just having a hard time. So reconciling in my head the fact that Biggles is 100% committed to finding his Dami Mommy for life, and Shizuka is his favorite 100 Girlfriends girl.
who needs a dummy mommy when you have someone who has to talk to you through a phone?
You can get someone who has to talk to you through a phone. It's called an AI girlfriend.
Oh, I thought it was a sex hotline. Okay, I'll stop calling those then.
It's just the
no.
modern. That's just the modern version of it.
But overall, this show's kind of funny. I like it, and then I like how in the middle of the show it was like the epilogue for episode 1. They stopped fighting and got over it, and was like, you actually look really cool, bald, right?" And then then it said something else about the other one. And then when they go to the thing, she's like lying about him because the girls are like, "Oh, I want to date him now." And she's like, the first couple of scenes in this episode, she was all about it. She was like, "Something's going to happen," and like fantasizing about getting that ogre.
She is absolutely into him, and it's hilarious because there is only one brain cell in that head of hers.
But she's like, he sucks at fighting as he's kicking the shit out of these guys, and you're like, you can't rely on him, and he's like just sitting there like hiding behind the thing. I'm like, man, that sucks. Like he can't just be a hot guy. He's like useless now too. Like yeah, but after episode 2, it's absolutely, it's officially solid,
I feel like it's a little fast paced at times, but I can forgive it because overall, I do think it is still a very good anime.
I also think you get away with that more when it's a comedic take.
Mhm.
Then it's easier to be kind of fast paced and just like 100 Girlfriends. They speed run things and make a joke about the anime director. It's the anime director's fault for the missed content. It's fun.
I love how they just like take time out of their fucking runtime to throw shade at the director. And he signed off on it. That's the funniest part.
They're like, "Oh, actually, you might not even see a break. So there's just happened right after it happened." Like.
Plus, I wonder if the director's favorite girl to have throw shade at him is Nano, because she's like Nano. He's like, she's a robot. Basically, she's gonna be logical and cold about it. That you got to figure even the director and the animators all have their favorite girls that they just like.
It's like when you watch a Tarantino movie, you can tell what he's into.
The feet.
Yes.
You didn't say it out loud, but yes.
Man,
I say the feet. That's why most of these characters like their Dami Mommy stepping on them. They like feet.
All right, Chain Soldier.
Who?
I still need to watch that one, honestly.
You haven't watched Chain Soldier? I figured you would
Oh
have
wait,
watched that.
I did. Yeah, I watched
Because
it
I thought
because
you
the video
mentioned
was in
about
it. Yeah,
having
yeah,
to watch it and being like, "What am I watching?"
yeah. That's nuts too. Okay, let's go to this one. Can I rant? Can I rant, guys? Can I rant?
Go ahead.
All
Do
right.
your thing.
How dare he not pat her on the head and say thank you and then walk away when she said
Yeah,
something
yeah.
nice?
Yeah, what a bitch. No, okay. Amari sucks. All right. I'm going all burn, scorch earth, or whatever the fuck it's called on Hamari. I don't like her. She's that girl that would be your friend the entire time, tease you. Then you get a relationship that she helped you get. And then she's like, I want him back now. So it's all her fault. She's an awful person. She basically gave him a lap dance in the first one, if you pay attention to it, because she was sitting on his lap going back and forth, back and forth. And you know what? The Rin, uh, actually is the reason why he likes flowers, is the reason why he does the thing he does, because he met her and now she told him that he helped her get over her self-conscious. So I am helping or I am hoping Reen wins and him and Hamari's boy girl friendship does not survive. And the answer to the anime's title is no.
You see, the thing is, I don't think it's gonna go that way. But this is the thing I was talking about when I said earlier that this one has some like seriously like dramatic issues looming over its head, and it's that love triangle that basically you're talking about here is Himari has basically just become the source of her own problems. She's going to end up trying to solve the problem that she creates because she doesn't pay attention to the guy and she doesn't really like care about him up until she realizes, hey, wait, maybe I actually miss this dude. I hate that sort of wishy-washy thing in anime. It
And no head.
really annoys me when they do stuff like that and you're like, oh well, now I got to deal with all this like interpersonal drama. Like I can handle one thing if like a character has some like rough things going on in their life and they have to work through it before they get into the relationship or something, or if there's some sort of like element to it, like with Love is War, where there's some sort of dynamic between the two characters but there's not going to be any interference with it. Love triangles annoy me because they're just a trope built to inject drama where it doesn't need to be there. I do not like love triangles for the most part. So I agree. Like, as far as the characters go, I would normally vote for someone. I would normally vote for someone like Himari, but in this case, like, I completely understand why
Don't
no one
freeze.
would fucking like her because she has literally become she has become the the problem.
She is the problem. I hate her. I hate her. Okay.
I like her personality. I hate the fact that she's basically about to cause a bunch of drama.
Yeah, she's a fucker. It's her fault.
I feel like if this show focused more on Blue Chaos Gremlin, I would be happier with it, but it's got that love triangle drama looming over its head. I'm like, oh, this one's going to disintegrate real fucking fast.
I feel bad for the brother or her brother and his sister because they're like, no, we need them. Like you're like you calm her down, kind of, and then the other one's like, no, don't worry, she's going to take care of us and make us lots of money. And now they're not going to get it because like,
So the only place love triangles have ever worked for me is too many
It's
losing
Twilight.
too many losing heroines. Where where they're basically we're seeing the back end where they've been dumped and moved on from. So
yes, it's not there, and really the only part of it that you're seeing is the very end, so that you can move on. And Too Many Losing Heroines also balances that all out with a good like dose of comedy. So even in like the parts where like it's mostly like heartbreaking or whatever, you still have some sort of like levity to it. That's like, okay, that's actually I shouldn't be laughing at this person's heartbreak, but it's really fucking funny.
was Lemon still your top girl out of that one? I think right.
Yes.
Yeah, because she had the most. I would say hers was the most like gut wrenching heartbreak shown in like too many losing heroines. I mean, you got like her someone at the very beginning where she does the weird straw thinking straw thing, but like Lemon got like she's the one who got crushed.
Yeah. But then again, like I think Lemon was one of the like funnier characters in that show. Just it's kind of really hard because they're all so like odd that there's something funny about every single one of them.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think I need to see. I want to see a few more episodes before I just like throw out this show and get mad at it or something.
I'm still going to continue watching it. But I'm just stating the fact that like the potential like drama hanging over its head that could just come down on top of me at any moment kind of stifles my enthusiasm, especially as like the first episode like sold me on like, okay, so we have Himari being the chaos agent. I like that. She's fun. Her personality makes this whole show really stand out. And then the second episode had like one of those moments. And I was
I
like,
like the this
Every
is
time
where
it did a heel
I
turn
wanna-
from the
yeah.
last episode.
I think when we were doing our preview for the new season, one of the things I think I brought up, and I think we all kind of mentioned, kind of agreeing, is that sometimes animes can seem really solid for 2 episodes in, but by like third or fourth, it'll take a turn and just go back. Like this is the one where it could be making that turn and turning out to be one that I'm really just gonna drop and not like. Or it could, or it's kind of hugging that line right now. It's like a car approaching the exit and it's drifting. Like, that meme, like where you see the car like bailing like halfway.
Yeah,
through
where
the-
like it's on the exit lane on the highway, and it just decides to do
Yeah.
a fucking hard turn for the exit.
Yeah, I've got to, if I had to like put money and confidence on, I almost feel like it's more likely to be making that turn than not. Again,
So
never read the manga, so don't know.
I agree. I
So
kinda
this
feel the
show's
same way about
actually really good, and I'll tell you why. 6 new subscribers on my channel from that video of me making a joke that Amari's a stalker. It's a
There you
tale
go.
as old as time. Boy meets girl, girl stalks boy, And then I was like, more on that later.
Yeah, like muffler tape over there. Yeah, half baked idea. Then like, wow, here's a great hook, but I got nothing to follow it up. Like I burned.
it would have been much better if they would have delayed like the if they would have like there's so much you could do that would make this much better. If it had focused mostly on Himari just being like the chaos agent and having fun,
If only
it
they
would
had
have
made.
you would have been able to sell me on the characters better.
If
but-
only they had made the girls childhood friends and one only speak Okinawan.
Yeah, if only.
And then they could cuck us right at the end. Yeah, no
And they
thanks.
could translate it for us.
I told if best girl doesn't win, we burn it all down.
Yeah, if Hina doesn't win, everything burns. All right.
Wait a second, Hina? Yeah, was
Higa.
that the which one is your best girl?
Kana.
The
Isn't- is-
the blonde one, right?
Yeah. Kana
Okay.
Higa. Isn't her last
Okay.
name Higa?
Yes.
Yeah. Kanda. All right. Let's switch over. What did you say it was Paul Grey Rat falls into a harem?
That's
Paul
what
Grey
it is.
Rat. Paul Grey Rat reincarnated.
So if we want, all right, so we 100% have proof this is not Paul Grey Rat reincarnated because this dude would have already been rolling in all of those girls if it was Paul.
They'd
Paul
all be
Grey Rat.
This
pregnant.
dude would
They'd
have
all
like
be
8
pregnant.
children by
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Paul Grey Rat, if there is one thing, he is canonically not able to keep it in his pants if a girl even looks at him. So this, I mean, each one of these girls is so DTF with this guy. Like, he is.
They
Yeah,
all have
no,
the teacher complex.
Forget MILF Hunters. This series is loaded to the brim with DILF Hunters.
Like this anime is going to have a tournament arc where all of these girls are fighting to get him. This is like he's going to be the prize at the end of the tournament arc for these girls to do their magic / sword fighting.
He's for the women of culture, okay? And he's just like,
And it fits the stereotype too. He's like, he's older, he's mature, he's gainfully employed, he's 6'4", he has a high income. It's like-
he's everything they want.
And you know what? You know what's sad is like this is like one of those shows you would expect to be like a throwaway anime. Like it's just one of those things like, okay, well, it was kind of fun to watch, but whatever. It's not anything good. It's still more entertaining than one of the most anticipated adaptations to come out this season.
Yep.
Are you guys watching the sub or the dub?
It's same day dub, right? So I just put the dub on.
I can't stand the dub for this series.
Dub
That's
is
very
not very
rare for
good.
me. So I've been watching it subbed.
The dub isn't very good, but I'm enjoying it. Let's look at the English voice actors so we can see why. Language English. All right, let's see. Does it say names?
Lagwange.
It shows no names. Oh, just
name?
this person.
So just the one guy who went in and edited it himself.
Okay.
Barrel Garden Ant.
Garden
BG,
Ant.
man. BG. Hey, BG. Big guy. That's
The Bee Gees.
The Bee Gees. Yeah,
You
I
can
like.
tell by the way I look at you.
I like Muffler de Vote.
It's-
Yeah,
By the way, I used
he
my
rolled
blog
20s for girls with daddy issues confirmed.
Daddy issue girls.
Paul Greyrat was throwing natural 20s down every time he rolled a relationship question.
Well, let's just put it this way. How is it that the one time like Paul like legitimately got with the maid, he ended up getting her pregnant? Like how fucking unlucky could you have been, man? Like you
Is
picked the
it
wrong
canonical
time.
that was the one time? I thought that they see, this is where it gets interesting because the anime glosses it over, but sort of says that they were married.
Later on, technically they do say that he took what's her name, Lelia, as his wife, so he had two wives, but I don't think it was an immediate thing. I think that happened after he got her pregnant.
because Zeris had to be okay with it, and I love that was still one of my
But that's
favorite moments.
because of Rudy.
Yeah, where Rudy was like, "I'm sorry, Paul. I'm doing this for the child."
Yeah, I'm doing this for the greater good. I am sacrificing you for the greater good.
I'm putting all of the guilt on you to make sure that the maid and her baby don't get kicked out.
To be fair, he does kind of deserve it, Paul.
I mean, he definitely that. I mean, what was it? Was it in the first or second episode where you see her just panting outside of their bedroom, and you're like, okay, something's gonna happen with the maid because she is a little bit too into this whole thing.
There were a lot of weird things that happened outside of the Grey Rat's bedroom. I mean, remember there was
Rudy
a whole
was
scene
watching,
where Rudy stepped out of his room to peep on them, and Roxy was sitting outside the door.
Yep.
That show is nuts. Okay, so girls would rather share a winner than have a loser all to themselves. Look at that.
So what's interesting about this show is that he is a winner, but he thinks he's a loser. And unlike real life, these are all these girls want to put effort into building up his self-esteem.
I mean, he's more like Nor to the point.
Oh
where
my
he
God,
doesn't
he's
think-
like you, Biggles.
He
These
doesn't.
girls
think
are coming up to him and being like, "I love you," and he's like, "Head pat, that's good," and then he walks
Oh,
away.
thank you. Hey, it's not my fault. He's an idiot like me. Okay, it's his fault. Okay, so this show's fun. I like it.
I do. Like, I genuinely enjoy it. Like, they actually put some effort into animating the sword fighting, so that's good. It's just one of those things where I kind of like I will admit, like, it's not like the highest quality. It's not the most cultured thing to watch, but it's entertaining.
This is like, I think the rating is kind of dead on. It's like it's a low 7. It's just a great it's a show that you'll enjoy, but it's not going to stay with you for like 3-4 years from now. It's not like ReZero where we're going to be going back and talking about
next
it, or
season
Mushoku Tensei.
we won't remember until next season, and we'll have to rewatch
I mean,
it
like
next
this is
season.
it reminds me of I Parry Everything, or
I was gonna say
Uh,
I Parry Everything was like that.
yeah, where
Hey,
you
I
have the
watched
aloof.
the whole sub and then I watched the whole dub. All right, I love that show. I
But
Yeah,
put
well,
it in
that
the
you
top
are
5.
particularly special for that.
Yeah, it's the aloof, overpowered main character who doesn't even know it, but everybody else does. It's one of those, like, it's not that the show where everyone else doesn't know that he's awesome. It's everyone else does know how awesome he is, and somehow
And he
he
thinks he's
can
just
never it
normal.
never gets through his head that he's actually good at what he's doing. Like, I mean, even in this show, we're two episodes in, and we've had people coming up and telling him directly, "You are great. You are high level. You are a master swordsman on par with the best people in the kingdom." And he's like, "That was nice of them to say, to try to be nice to me." You know, like, I just won a sparring match with like the highest, with the
The second
second in
highest.
command knight in this kingdom, who, by the way, I trained the first in command, so clearly my style is great.
Better.
But and I whooped him. He did his uber power soul special move.
And I just
He-
sidestepped it.
yeah, and I sidestepped it and would have, and if it wasn't training swords, he'd be dead. So it's like, it's funny. I do get a little frustrated when the anime pro tycoons just cannot acknowledge that they are actually good when they're given the evidence they are. It gets a little like silly. Like, come on, man. You don't have, like, I'm not saying you need to suddenly become like have the biggest head in the world and think you're, Vegeta over here and you're God's gift, but
Well,
you should at
Vegeta
least
is
be
God's gift.
you should at least be able to acknowledge, you know what? I think I am a pretty good swordsman. I'm not just some guy that they're pitying.
My lights are fucking way too high.
By the way, he's also building every one of these shows that, where they build like the devoted harem crew. It is funny when he's like a skilled guy who can teach, he also picks up the young boy, like the younger man, who's also becomes the fanboy and is
The dude's
devoted to
like,
him too.
I love you. That dude's like, cat or sensei.
You literally just went full like Patrick Star. I love
can't-
you.
I love you. Like in retards. I gotta like dim my light because I'm like reflecting. So yeah, good one.
I'll have to
Yeah.
go back and check out the sub just to see how much better it is, though.
I couldn't do this. It was kind of like Dinner Table Detective for me, where I listened to the dub and I was like, "Oh fuck no!"
Is Amazon using one of the? Are they using their own service to dub
Probably.
these?
I think
Probably.
so. I think
They're
they're doing
so
the dubbing
bad,
in house. Because
but
like if they were doing it, like if they were getting any sort of professional service for this, I can't imagine that they got a service that like. Or I would have to imagine that they got a service that hasn't been in use since like the fucking 80s.
dude, it's so bad, but it's so good. Okay, let's talk about this really quick. The greatest shit show ever since Ghost Stories. Can we agree?
Ghost Stories was intentional, though, right?
Yeah,
So,
but this is
The Ghost Stories dub was intentionally bad. Yes.
I mean, I don't. This one, by all accounts, somebody did this and was like, "That was the best take. That's awesome. Let's go with it."
Yes.
it's so bad. It's awesome. Sometimes the lips don't even sync up when they're talking. It's amazing. I love it. And the writing
it's a
is
fucking clown show, is what that one is.
the writing is awful, but it's so
Well,
much
at
fun.
least
I love
the
it.
chick who we thought was dead the first episode isn't actually dead.
Yeah, she lives. It's like you left her alone for like 30 minutes with a head wound, and
Like,
you guys
they-
didn't even fucking check on her. Like,
They did not do a very good job of conveying what was going on there, because at one point they say she's dead in the dub. They literally say that she's dead in the dub, and then later on it's like, oh well, she's alive. She's calling from the hospital. Like, what the fuck?
like, yeah, it's so bad. It's awesome. Okay, let's go to.
And the mysteries still aren't that great. The writing still is shit. Like the second episode was not an improvement whatsoever. So I'm genuinely curious as to how we got to this point.
I love how bad it is. It's amazing. All right, so like Muffler Tape said, we have another one where the main character has no idea how powerful he is, and he's just building a harem. Now he's got the princess who's like, is the princess like part golden retriever or like bloodhound or something? That she's
She
like,
enhanced
I-
her scent. She used magic to enhance her scent.
she's like, I
Or
smelled him.
senses.
I found him. You know him by his smell, and then it cuts to the scene where she's like holding him and like sniffing him like in her fantasy.
No, that was the other girl. So
Yeah,
the girl
yeah,
on the
that
right.
was her fantasy. Yeah, that she
Night
was
Girl
like-
was like, what did she, how close did she get to be able to, know his scent this well?
and then there's like the iron dragon golems, and he's like, "Oh no, this is easy. I got this. Don't worry." And he's like dismantling them. She's like, "Fucking beat them all with."
I
a
did
dagger."
love the fact that before that, to make sure that this party had no inkling of what OP skills he had, he
Uh-huh.
basically couldn't even deal with a slime that was right on his leg, humping him.
Yeah.
And it was he accidentally stabs his own leg when he's trying to kill it.
Can't deal with the slime, but this fucker deals the most powerful thing in the fucking dungeon. No problem.
And it was subtle, but it was there where he was like, "No, this is how we mine them." It's like, so if it's fighting, he can't get his head around it. He's like, "I'm terrible at fighting. I can't fight anything." But iron golems are something you can mine. So this is how you mine. You take them apart at the seams.
It's such a bad show, but I love it just because it's so dumb.
Yeah, this is like dumb fun. Okay, and it's same week dub, so it's awesome.
Once again, the score. Actually, this score might be a little higher. I would probably say it's more like 6.5. Just because it's goofy fun. It's not like anything. Oh, look, the entire English cast is filling in their roles for this one.
I don't even know who this person is who plays Kurt. Let's see. He
He did a voice on Fairy Tale. There you go.
Oh, look, it's the Black Knight character. It's a girl, I think.
Is that a girl? Yeah,
I think
maybe.
so.
They did Westcott on Date Alive, which you haven't watched yet.
Greg and Juvia's kid from the other world. Black Knight.
Edoras or whatever it is.
Edalos, yeah. Black Knight.
sorry.
This person does a lot of voices, I guess.
I think they do the like kitty high pitched voice, so they probably get a lot of work.
Yeah, probably.
Sounds about right. Yep, that checks out.
Who's this person?
One gross anime is all you need is a sister. Okay.
Wait, is that the name of a show?
Yes, it's an incest one.
Biggles is like, let me put it on my list. All right, done.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Swigs will text message me, and he's like, I watched this anime and wait, what did I do? Like the brother and sister where I was like, why'd you keep watching it? He's like, I watched the whole thing. Like, what the like
Oh, that's right. This season we also got the Rent a Girlfriend guy wrote the Focest anime.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did you watch that one, Biggles?
No, I'm not watching that one.
I refuse to touch anything that has anything to do with the Rent a Girlfriend creator.
Yeah.
Do you think? I swear, this man. All these other mangakins are like trying their hardest to like pump out and like keep series going and keep them popular enough for them to keep getting paid. This effer is on what, like 300 chapters of Rent a Girlfriend where he doesn't have anything happening and people are just hooked and still all on it.
What the fuck?
They're fucking slurping that shit up. Yeah.
It's like the simp population of Japan reading that manga must be gigantic.
Yeah,
like, it's no. If you want to have a long-lasting manga series, just write about a cuck.
So you didn't watch the new episode, right, Crimson?
I have not watched episode 3.
Oh, I would rate
Episode
this.
2 though was
Go for
everything
it.
that you said.
Yes, it was great.
Mhm.
I think this score should definitely. This is a good example of the anime list not being proper.
Yeah, this is one like I
This should be
genuinely
8.5
am.
or higher.
Yeah, again, I agree. Like this should be a much higher score. It's a great example of like why anime list scores can be fucking whack. And I'll even say Freerun is way higher than it should be because I know there was a campaign to put artificial upward pressure on it. That said, though, it's still a good series. Like this one's really fucking well written. The second episode does a lot of explaining about things without ever directly stating them. It gives you just enough information to piece everything together all on your own, and then ends the episode.
I loved when the dad was like, "Who wouldn't trust their own son?"
Like the
Yeah.
subtle things you say put like the whole family history together in that episode.
Mhm. So
Like you learn where Susanne came from, you learn like what exactly like was happening in the first episode when they ran away, and yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in that one.
Man, do you think there was a subtle conversation with the eyes of like, "Dad, I get it now. I know why you were trying to murder my little sister, and you probably should have."
he's like, I want to now too.
You know,
So Swigs is over
Probably
here.
not. I don't think they ever directly said anything. That this just feels like it would be out of character for the episode. But I think he is kind of in the position of like fully understanding what was going on back then.
yeah,
And
because when you were as you're watching the episode, you're like, he's using his same name. He's not. He didn't change his name.
mhm.
So like you kind of knew it was his dad. Like it's nice that they actually acknowledged that the dad knew the whole time. Like he brought his son
Mhm.
in to do this. And man, this show like it's right. I like it like Demon Slayer. Like that. The end of the first episode where she's like tossing around the girl's head and like, "Aren't you happy now? We can be together now. I took her. She was a liar and a hoe."
She was a slut.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was a slut. And he's like, and so it's great. I think it's clearly I don't know. I shouldn't say clearly. The anime is clearly inspired by Demon Slayer's success. I don't know if the manga predates it because there's situations where another manga will come around a few years later and get to being an anime first, and then it kind of owns the market on what people think is which came first.
Like Re-Monster and Mushoku Tensei. Technically, I
Yeah.
think Re-Monster was written first and was actually the inspiration for Mushoku Tensei, but Mushoku Tensei was more popular and thus got an anime first.
Yeah. So it's like in this case, I could see that this one might have been around earlier as a manga, but the anime adaptation is definitely pulling so much from Demon Slayer, and not in a bad way. Not every time when people are taking homages is it bad. They are
Not
doing
in a
it very
Team
well.
Tensei way where it
Yeah.
apes the entire first episode of the
Yeah.
series that it was supposedly inspired by.
And if you're gonna do that, you sure as shit better actually animate things. Like if you're gonna ape the first episode of Mushoku Tensei where the animation was flawless, you better actually do that. you better
You better actually animate the
make
show.
And like what you gave me was the slide deck where you were pitching the show to the producers, like, look, we can do this scene and this
Mhm.
scene and this scene, and so we got key frames, and that was and then they just put music to it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to and think, okay, so episode 3, not much happens, but you get a lot if you actually pay attention to what happens in episode 3. So
This one's just very satisfying to watch because of the way it's written. It handles like everything, like it literally is on like a tightrope in like several occasions where like it could go bad. Like with the way it handled like the sort of romance between the guy and the priestess in the very first episode, and it walks that tightrope really well. So it's very satisfying for the way it handles all its writing.
Exactly. Like the first episode, was almost a master class in how to, because now you've given him his motivation for the rest of the show. In a lot of ways, it's like if anyone ever watched Lone Wolf and Cub, where you get your samurai who's drummed out into being a Ronin after he gets his whole family and clan are murdered. He's ready to go out there and kill everybody in revenge. And of course, as every good Japanese Ronin does before he does that, he takes his toddler child and gives him the toddler child a choice between the sword and a bouncy ball to decide whether he wants to join him on his quest for revenge. And of course, the child picks the sword, so he gets a death baby carriage, and it's awesome. If anyone has never seen Lone Wolf and Cub, you should check it out.
Could be worse. It could end up being fucking Mandalorian, where you carry around an annoying green avocado for an entire series.
Poor
That is
avocado.
the aesthetic was based on Lone Wolf and Cub.
I'm aware.
Yeah,
I've had these
I know.
conversations with other
Yeah.
friends that I've streamed with,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make Grogu any more interesting a character to know that.
I mean, the most interesting thing Grogu did was murder children on screen when he started eating them.
Oh, good.
Yes, I forgot about that.
I didn't
Where
even know
they
that
make-
happened. Just like,
No, they make it a point. Like their mission is to get this like frog family off the planet, and in a jar is their like eggs, their children.
Nice.
And you see what full grown versions of these are. They're smart. They can talk. They can do all this. Grogu's just reaching in and eating them.
Nice. He ate all their children. All right.
Yeah,
So,
so that's why I'm completely like on board with what my brother said about it. Put him in a blender and make guacamole out of him.
so let's talk about the anime that doesn't know how to order their episodes right. And episode 2 definitely should have been their episode 1.
Yes, still a shit series, but episode 2 would have been a better episode 1.
Let's talk about how bad it has to be to get Biggles' anti-healer show.
I know, right? I was so upset with episode 1, and episode 2 was kind of like a redemption arc for me because I like love healer animes, and I was just like, why couldn't this be episode 1? I would have been okay with like a bad episode 2 if I had episode 2 as my episode 1.
I feel like this anime rating is way higher than it should be, like
Yeah,
a 6.4, 8.
Yeah, this one is this one's trash, but I like it because there are like random times where the animation is just like for like 5 seconds at a time actually good. And it's just so utterly ridiculous and dumb.
And then
Like when all the werewolves are like trashing the place and it's just kind of like this comedic sideshow.
the wraith comes down and was like, "What the fuck are you doing in my house?" And he's like, "Whoa, calm down. The bottom's my half. If they come upstairs, you can kill them."
He's just like casually like, if they go upstairs, yes, you can kill them.
And they're like, "You have a wraith? You control a wraith?" And he's like, "No, I don't really control her. She's my roommate." Like, but it is pretty funny. It's nowhere as good as it's rated. But if you watch this show, watch episode 2, then episode 1. Don't watch episode 1 first.
I don't even think you should watch episode 2 and then episode 1. I think you might want to watch like episode 2 and then 3. I think episode 1
we'll
might
see
be
where
the
3
very
goes.
last episode you should watch if you want to like understand this show. Like
Alright.
episode 1, they tried to do a Berserk, except for they didn't have the writing to actually be Berserk.
Let's see what this says. I play support in Overwatch, but at least I realize everyone hates me. LL, i.e. healers are great, just everyone hates them. Dude, I play healers in everything.
I try. I was when I used to play Overwatch, I was like a tank / support main all the time. Those were the roles I picked because like nobody wanted to play them back then. And like I would try to like get like team comps and stuff going, and everyone just wanted to play fucking Genji.
So, talking about great supports, the 2 Perfect Saint tossed aside by my fiance and sold to another kingdom. What do you guys think of this one?
Episode 3 comes out tomorrow, right?
Yep. This
All right.
is
I'm
playing out.
looking forward to it.
This is playing out like I had hoped because
Revenge!
Revenge arc may be incoming. Do they have the balls to actually do it and make the little sister just go like full
I
full
hope she like
angry?
kills Prince Julius and was like,
Because they did the line that hinted at it where she was like, if I
she's like,
find
I'm going to take him to task. Yeah.
I mean, like that's where
No,
it's something where
I
it could
hope
be,
I
yeah.
hope she like straps him down and just tortures him. I hope that's what happens.
Oh, then Biggles will have a new Dommy mommy he can love
Yes.
in a show.
Who, Mia?
hmm
I mean, everybody likes Mia, but I like the Stone Cold Sister. But I love how everybody in
So
the
basically, you want your women to feel like anything but affection for you. Got it?
yes, yeah, basically. It's more, will they kill me in my sleep rather than
So
they'll
just
abuse me when I'm awake.
just to summarize, if you're a cute girl and you walk up to Biggles and say I love you, you get a head pat and a thank you and a walk away. If you're a girl who goes up to Biggles and says you're trash, I hate you, he's like, I'll follow you anywhere.
Maybe.
But no, this show's great. I like how they it makes sense like that they and the two things happen at once. When we see her in her new kingdom, they give you the frame of reference because we knew she was the greatest, and we're seeing in turn. I like it always when they give you a scale reference where they, in this case, we had the butler and maid, and the butler's explaining to the maid, so it's actually organic. Well, no, that she's going to create a pillar of light to clear out the area. It takes about a dozen pillars to do it. A saint can usually do one pillar a day
And
after
she
about
does, like,
7 or 8 hours, and she did one in like 20 minutes.
30 minutes. Yeah, yeah.
So, and then as she goes through and she does 6 in one day, and she's like, I think we can clear out the area, but I'm sorry, we might have to go into lunch a little bit. Yeah, so
And they're like, no, you're working too hard. You have to take a break. And she's like all upset. She's like, I could have done all of this in a day. Like, and they're like, no, you're working too hard.
You're holding me back. What are you doing?
and then we cut back to our evil prince who's now dealing with the consequences of having sold off what he didn't realize was the most overpowered saint of all time for what looks like, it basically ends up looking like the Herschel Walker trade from the Cowboys in 1980, where they traded Herschel Walker and got all the picks that became Evan Smith. Anyway, that's a sports reference. Wrong crowd.
Don't worry.
I wouldn't know enough because
Yeah.
I don't do sports ball. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's in this case, it's immediately falling apart. He's finding out there's monsters invading on the edges. He's like, "What are you doing? I've been ordering monster hunts for like the last 6 months so that this wouldn't happen." Oh, the saint. The saint used to always just send him home, and she said, "I got it. You don't need to worry about it."
Now they're like, I don't do any of this. Yeah. But I can't wait to see if Mia like kills Prince Julius and just be like, yeah.
I also love the fact that they made it so that little sister didn't buy for 1 second that her sister would have left without saying goodbye to her.
Yeah.
She's not a fucking dunce. I do.
She's not an idiot. Like that's where like a lot of anime when they set that up, they would have had her go like 10 more episodes, basically the whole rest of this season, not believing her sister had wanted to say goodbye to her and loved her or whatever. In this case, it's a genuine relationship. So she's like, no, my sister was the most perfect saint that's ever been. She would have never left without saying goodbye and also preparing me for my duty. Like, not just because I'm her sister and she loves me. She would have given me like, here's the list of things you need to do. This is what I do every day. Make sure you're doing these things. And so I love when characters aren't stupid. So it's such a little thing, but it works so great.
This has a chance to be my favorite anime of this season.
Of course it does.
Yeah. No Donnie Mommies either. So.
I always question,
not yet.
I always question your picks, dude. I always question.
No, there's no Dommy Mommy
great.
yet, but we've got the seeds of one that could grow. It's been planted.
All right. Watch her become a Dommy. All right.
Or Alicia, we'd be fine.
Okay, so I know I like this one, and I think it's fun, but it kind of feels like an Otome game kind of thing. But she's not like the villainess; she's more like the heroine, even though it's not an Otome game.
It is
Uh,
100% like a reverse harem, which
yeah,
is what
yeah,
Otome games are.
yeah. But
Yes, it is, and I still think it's shit, but it's marginally less shit with the second episode.
hey, my favorite thing about episode 2 is like the guys come in and they're like, "Oh, Sophia's here," and they're like, "You know them? They're so hot," and they're like staring daggers at him, and then they find out what's the other guy's name?
The prince,
Yeah,
Julie, Lucius, Julius, something,
Luis.
Luis.
Okay, so Luis is the prince, and he's like, "Oh, Sophia's here. Hi, Sophia, and hi,
And it turns
Isaac."
out he's gone to that school the whole time, and
Yeah,
he's a senior, so he's apparently been like the king of that school, and she's been oblivious because
yeah,
that's the kind of girl she is.
yeah. Well, isn't she a first year at that school, so she hasn't been there long?
Yes, pretty much.
Yep.
But I like how all the girls are like, "What was that?" And like, I just like how she's like, "I just want a peaceful life," and these damn girls are like rooting it. And what's the other guy's name? Will? Is it Will? No. What is it?
Isaac.
Eddie.
It's Isaac and Eddie. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Eddie's like, "You have the gorilla, right?" And she's like, "Please don't
Because
tell
he's like,
anybody."
no, he's like, look, you did this with your legs, you did this with your arms, you clearly have these all the only thing that explains all these different points of strength for a little girl like you is the gorilla god.
And he's like, "I wish I had that." And then Isaac is totally the dog, right? Because he's like the
got
golden retriever.
Hey,
I love it.
watch who you're calling a fucking dog. Okay,
But
Hey,
it's not
shut it.
but they even play into it because he's like, I was blessed by the dog god.
I'm even faster now. And he's like, he's basically a golden retriever. It's pretty funny. So I really like this. I know Crimson hates it, but
I don't hate it.
he
It's-
hates everything.
It's better with this episode, but like I just don't like a lot of what it's doing for the most part. It
I'm
feels
gonna
like
tell you
it wants to be like a battle shoujo, is what it feels like.
I'm gonna tell
Hey,
you
I'm
right
all
now,
for it.
we talked about it a little in the pre-show. Thinking about it more with the gorilla animation style, this is 100% whoever did this like animation on the gorilla. Maybe it's just how they animate them. It looks just like the seeds, the fruit of evolution. It's just the gorilla's not pink. Instead of it, being a pink
So
gorilla.
what you're saying is they're using the exact same gorilla asset.
I think they are, because did you notice there was a couple times when the gorilla did the hands to the face, like like a girl, like shy girl move? I think it was the same asset, and they just de-pinked it. But in the same frame, I think this is a show on par with Fruit of Evolution season 1. Season 2 was like season 1 was above average trash, but season 2 was just straight trash. In this case, this show is reminding me in both its animation style, the voice acting, just the way that they're directing this anime with the like cuts and moves and editing. It straight up is like Fruits of Evolution season 1. And if you liked that one, you'll probably like this one, and if you didn't, you'll probably dislike this one for a lot of the same reasons.
That checks out because I did not like Fruit of Evolution. I thought it was awful.
This looks like their first the studio's first thing by itself. I mean, it has producers from like better stuff.
I mean, if you had shown me the beginning after the end, I would have assumed ACAT was doing their first anime, but no, they have a long fucking list of awful fucking productions.
Well,
I
this is
mean-
their first one, so
I will 100% contact ACAT the next time I need a slide deck made. I was like, you guys really know how to get dynamic slides on screen. I'd like some assistance with that.
We've just not stopped throwing shade at that one all night. I love it.
Temu Tensei is such a shit show. And
I just want you to know I didn't even put it on here because I didn't want to talk about it because I fucking stopped. I was like, I can't fucking watch this. I hate that stupid baby.
well, it's
It gets even funnier or even worse. Well, the author actually picked Studio ACAT himself
because he got a bigger share of the money.
because he liked that the director had actually read his work.
Well, that's interesting because if he wanted, clearly what the manga artist wanted was a light novelization with illustrations,
Hmm.
and that's what he's getting. He's getting illustrations that he can put into his light novel.
Right. Well, yeah.
Let's talk
Uh,
about something much, 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 much better.
the last part of it though is there's actually a petition with like 20,000 people behind it now to cancel this adaptation.
It's
Nice.
this was a really well-regarded, highly popular manga or manhwa. I think it was a manhwa,
Yes.
right?
Well,
So
actually, it was a novel turned manhwa.
yeah, so I know that you've probably seen it too in Crimson Online. There were people who were legit trying to argue that this was on par or better than Mushoku Tensei from a writing standpoint.
There were still people trying to argue that after the first episode.
Because their points are usually, well, the depth
50 chapters later.
because
Yes.
he was a king who was such a like he's learning different lessons, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, I want to look at these people and just shake them and be like, if you don't understand how much depth and development and writing and character there is to Rudy, you fucking should not be watching anime. Get out of my area. Like, you shouldn't be reading it.
Rudy has character development. Say it ain't so.
That's like
Anyway,
always,
we'll stop torturing
yeah.
Biggles with the talk so he can get on to his
Yeah.
baseball
Yeah.
mommy.
Yeah, can we-
this is, if you can't tell, this is one of the animes where I watch it only because of Biggles, because it's not my thing at all. It's like, oh, let's watch an anime about a beer sales girl and at the
Yeah.
ballpark, and it's just not.
It's great. Okay, so this episode we get the Instagram or Ninsta account one, where she's like, "Help me set up an Instagram or an Insta." In the manga, it says Instagram, so I keep saying that. But it gets that one where she meets these three guys, and they're like, "You can't say anything at all, right? No giving personal information." She's like, "I have a grandpa, like he's still alive." And then she's like, "I think that's okay." And then they're like, "All right, how about you give us your Ninsta account?" She's like, "I don't know how to do it." And she's like, stands on the thing, and she's just going, and they're like, "Oh, okay, here, let us teach you how to do it." And then you get the old man who and then they post the thing on Twitter, and they're like, "We met the funniest beer girl ever." And then it has like a video of it.
She's like totally shutting down these pickup artists the whole time,
yeah.
up until the point where she finds out they know how to install Instagram.
So in the manga, they're just known as the Playboys. That's like their name is the Playboys, and they'll be reoccurring characters. But this one is so much fun, and we get to meet Yamada, who's like really, really wants to show off her legs and really wanted to be a beer girl, and she applied. And they're like, "You're going to work the food stand," but she's part of the bento battle later, which will come, and I freaking love that scene in the manga. And that also includes Takano, who is Kojiro's wife, who is the baseball player who hits a 3-run home run to take the lead in this episode.
I was about to say, is that the lady we met, the
very
proud
beginning?
sports wife?
Yeah, who fought those guys. She was like, "You're an asshole. Shut up. Like, don't talk about him." Like,
I liked that character.
Is she number one wag there, Biggles? Being a sports guy, you know the wag term, right?
a wife of
And girlfriend. That's like
yeah,
the
yeah.
wags. Yeah.
I thought it was "We Are Gay" or something like that.
No.
No, that's the official sports terminology for, like, if you ever look in the stadium and you see that they pan the camera to the section and it's all the wives and girlfriends get tickets in the same section.
yeah. But there will be a girlfriend that we meet later, and her and Takano duke it out, and it's great. It's great. But you get Murata for just like a little bit, like the salary man, because you don't know his name yet. He's Yamato's Prince Charming, And then we get to see Miku for a little bit, the little 4-year-old. We get to meet Sarah, who's the girl right there on the right, for just a little bit, but you don't really know anything about Sarah. We're going to get the mascot next episode, so that's going to be a fun episode. I just really like this manga because it's baseball related. And I love going to the ballpark. I will be at the ballpark. We're going to
Clearly,
miss in like 2 weeks
You
or
just
something
like
like
balls
that.
in general.
Yeah, exactly. So in like
is she still
one-
she still treats her regular customer like, kind of talking down to him a little bit, right?
well, yes and no.
So she's a flirty dommy mommy.
Sure. But she's not my favorite character in this.
By the way, I
But-
do love the fact that these animes prove that Japan doesn't have the same rules like we do about how they hire, because clearly the hiring for the sales girls is based on being cute. It's like, we want you in these cute uniforms. You're going to walk around and you're going to sell things. That's not how they hire people or are allowed to hire people at stadiums in America.
Well, we also get we get a scene where she's like studying pitching, right? Like she's reading about sports so she can talk to the fans, especially Murata, because Murata is like a baseball nut. He's like a way more advanced baseball nut than me because he reads all the stats. But we also see that when Takano drags her into the fight with the guys, she's like, well, she's got a WRC plus of 125, and everybody's like, what does that mean? And she goes, that means she still got it. That basically means how well he plays in all if he were to play in a different ballpark. So he would play better if he was in other ballparks. Right. So it doesn't mean he still got it, but I like that. And there's like one scene in the manga that's not, who knows if it will get animated, but they're trying to explain baseball terms and they're like, a balk. No one actually knows what this means. If they say they do, they're lying. Because like a balk has like all these different rules and it doesn't make sense half the time. And half the time you're like, that's a balk. And you're like, no, that's not a balk. And you just get fights over what is and what isn't a balk.
Man, the balk rule is like if you're trying to explain that to someone who's never seen baseball, is hilarious. Like, you ever see Blast from the Past with Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
when he spends his entire youth in a fallout shelter, and his dad, because he's from the 50s and 60s, loves baseball. So he's explaining to baseball to his son, and he's like, "Well, why does he run to first? Because he must." Well, why does he do all this stuff? Because he must. And then he finally sees a baseball game once he gets out in the real world. He's like, "Oh my god, I finally understand it now. It makes sense."
Because he has to.
Because he
Right?
has to. Because he must.
Yeah, I love that anime. Or not anime, it's a movie. And it's got Alicia Silverstone, who was my childhood crush. Let's see. And she loves baseball, so that makes me like her more. All right, so this is 100% a Biggles anime. So this would be at the top of the list. A ninja and an assassin under one roof. I'll let you guys go.
This is genuinely like a good one, and it had no right to be as well animated as this was.
I feel, yeah, this is one where the animators genuinely must like the source material, or the directors having a really good time doing it, because this just the show itself is so, like, it's a batshit crazy concept. We're just going to go for it. And sometimes, and this is what makes anime such an amazing genre, like whatever you want to, medium, whatever way you want to describe it. You'll get guys who, and this phrase is kind of overused, where it's like, this thing went way harder than it needed to. Like, this show is going way harder than you would expect or need it to. I think the score is, again, and this is where anime list, this is low. This should be like upper sevens, almost 8. Probably I would say 7.5 to 7.75. So 7.5 to 7.75 would be my
It's a
zone where
masterpiece.
I would be okay with it. I could see it even going as high as 8 right now. I think there will be a drop off. I do think that, I doubt I like what I'm getting, but I don't know that they can sustain this quality for the whole season. So there's going to be episodes where it's probably going to drop off. I don't want to build it so far up that I can't be okay with that when it
Oh,
happens.
I fully expect the next episode to not be nearly as good as far as animation quality goes. That's
I
how
don't
these
even
things
care.
go.
It's a 10. It's a 10.
But
Right.
I like the concept of it because it's just funny to watch.
I love how when they first meet, she's like, "Oh, a dead ninja," and she just fucking kicks her and then keeps walking.
Yes.
It's like, "You're not going to just kick me and leave, are you? I'm so hungry." And
So
then
this is all right. So last season we had the show which was a real letdown and was kind of terrible, which was like the was it the neat
yeah,
moves
yeah,
in with the
yeah.
Niku no Ichi.
yeah, and this is another one where it's almost like it's a similar batshit crazy concept, but that's exactly what you would expect for that kind, where it just they cheaped out the animation. It was just bad. This
Mhm.
one goes the other, like it blows you away because it goes so far above your expectations, and maybe the source material is much better. Or like I said, I think it seems like the animation studio, you can see when they're putting a lot of care and effort in and not, doing slideshows, Temu Tensei. And so you're getting their A game, even though there's going to be episodes where they have to pare it back just because budget's always a thing. I'm expecting that whoever's making this is really into making it, either because they want to make a name for themselves, they like the source material, whatever reason it is. I would expect this is going to be something where by the end, those last few episodes of the season, given what we saw here, I think you're probably going to also get a really bit of high quality badass animation coming at you. Middle set, I feel like they'll pull back.
So they did. You could tell they were like. I like how they would just cut to black and they'd be dead. Like that was hilarious. They just cut to black. She's like, "Don't worry, they're dead." Oh, can you do your leaf thing where she turns the bodies into leaves? And then she like cleans the whole house. She's
Earlier
like,
in the series, earlier in the night, I was saying that there was a series that was going to be like a Yuri Gateway. This is what I was talking about.
"Oh well, who knows? I don't know. I don't know anything about it other than this first episode." But I love how she's just like, "Oh yeah, you can like go kill someone off your phone. Like click, like here's the ratings. I'm glasses. Okay, like." I like how she's like, "I didn't mean to run away. I just got caught up in what they were saying and went with them. I was going to go back." Like, now we're all here to kill you, and she's just like, "Knife. Okay, clean this up. Knife, clean them up." But yeah, this is a lot of fun. I enjoy this one. This is a Biggles anime for sure.
I just think it's a genuinely good one, especially based on that first episode. Now, like we've kind of discussed here, there could be a fall off. If they maintain this level of quality throughout the whole thing, and like it'll kind of be like stick in my mind like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid did, because that's another one where like they may not have had like action in every episode, but the animation was premium for Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid all the way through. And we may end up seeing something good out of this. I kind of hope that's what we get, but I think it's more likely that we're going to get something like the detective is already dead, where like the very first episode baits people into thinking it's great, and then everything else is just kind of shit.
Is the Mai that we're talking about from The Greatest Disciple or whatever that's called? Tenchi, what is it called? Something The Greatest Disciple? Is that the Mai we're talking about? The blonde hair girl who wears purple, giant boobs and butt? That one? Is that who we're talking about?
I have no idea what you're going on about, dude.
I'm just
He says
King
King
of-
of Fighters.
Oh, I haven't. What is King? I don't think I've seen that.
Wasn't it a video game?
Oh, yes.
That does sound like a video game, yeah.
Yep. King of Fighters. I'm sure it had an anime then. It
Oh,
probably.
Fatal Fury. Then that's a video game.
Oh, I think that other girl's name was Miyu.
Mai Shiruni from King of Fighters. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I see why he says she's best.
Just make sure the wife is not around kind of best, huh?
Here you go, Biggles. I found if you want to, you can share it to show
Oh,
people
okay.
why they think she's best.
Okay, I understand. I've seen this character before. Okay, now To Be Hero X. So this is Chinese, so I don't even know if it's actually an anime. And it's 3D except for the fight. They made it in 2D, which I actually liked when they went to 2D a lot better than this. Basically, heroes are created by the world. The dude who used to animate it, the other guy killed himself, and now he's that person. And then episode 2 was kind of like a better love story than what we're getting in what's it called? And then she's like, okay, I want to be gone and kill myself. But for like 5 minutes, you got like a better love story than you did in some of these other animes that we've got wasted. What is it, 400 episodes or something? What did you say, 400 chapters on? Like Rent a Girlfriend?
Rent a Girlfriend.
But yeah, I think this one's entertaining. Pretty fun.
I thought the first episode was okay. I'm not really like sold on it yet. The animation is good. I like the way that they change between the styles. I think that's pretty unique and well done. But I don't know if I'm sold on this as a concept yet.
Yeah, I need to see more. I don't really know what's going on. Like the story wise, other than it's just dude killed himself, you had to replace him. I guess his gay lover, best friend, or whatever is going off. I don't know.
This is the third show in the series, right? In the X series.
I don't know. It has a series. Maybe
I have no idea. I genuinely don't know anything about this.
it just like literally just came out, so I don't know.
Hero X. I think I want to say it is because I thought there was preceding shows in that series.
Oh, prequel right here.
To Be
Yeah.
Heroine. I think there's To Be Hero, To Be Heroine, and now To Be Hero X.
Oh yeah, I guess there is. To Be Hero. Yeah. Okay. So this is the third one. So I guess because we haven't watched any of the other ones, we don't really know what's going on.
As far as Muffler Tape's comment there goes, the best CGI. It isn't even CGI. It's animated more like Spider-Verse or Arcane is. So it's actually like decently well done 3D animation. It's not CGI. It's stylized 3D.
You know, like the horses in Fatal Frame, like that Biggles had nightmare fuel about.
I didn't
Or
watch
failure frame. Who was it?
That was
Crimson?
me.
Yeah, with the nightmare fuel of the CGI horse animation from Failure Frame.
The fucking wheel legs, yeah. Oh god.
All right.
Kill
I
me.
want to talk about the Kaiju number 8 movie. And the
where
thing.
it rehashed the first season, right? It
Yeah,
just
but
consolidated.
I was so fucking upset that they left out the Kafka versus the vice captain fight. And like 9 is barely in it. 9's in it for like 3 lines and then he's gone. So you don't even get like the big bad really in it.
How long was the movie?
I would say like an hour and 30 minutes.
So they
But-
took a 12, was it 12 or 13 episodes?
Well, you don't even get the full 12 episodes. You just get 10 of them.
So they covered 10 episodes in 90 minutes.
Yeah, but they left out, or they left in parts that like aren't that important and took out parts that are like huge action scenes. But then the important part was, okay, people left the theater before the fucking part that they actually paid to go see, which is the Vice Captain Hoshina's like day off. Which, by the way, Chris is now part of Kaiju, even though the movie is technically non-canon because it's not in any of the mangas, none of the 3 spin-offs or 2 spin-offs in that. So unless they make this movie non-canon. So basically the Vice Captain has a day off and so does 8. And it really highlights Renu and Iharu's friendship. And they're following the Vice Captain around. And like the Vice Captain, the voice of Vegeta. Sabat?
Christopher Sabat, yes.
Chris Sabat, yeah.
Yeah. The voice of Vegeta. He's in it. He looks like this Yakuza guy. So like they have this crazy theory that he's like selling weapons and shit. They think the Vice Captain is selling weapons. So they're like, oh yeah, we can get, or he's doing it for us. And he's like, guys, this is just a theory. I'm just thinking out loud here. And they're like, they think he's like selling weapons and stuff. And it turns out he's just helping out some kids. But it's super funny. It's just like jokes. It fits really well with the Relax series, which is just like, it would basically be like one of the ReZero Chibis, but they're not in Chibis. That's basically what that episode was. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. But people fucking left before that part. Like, they saw the ending credits for the other one, and they just got up and left, even though like the lights were still dim because there was 30 more minutes to it. And they just got up and left and fucking missed the part that they paid to go see. Like, I was like, what the fuck are you doing, you stupid ass people? Way to waste $12. But there was only one theater. I had to drive like 30 minutes. But as we know, I love Kaiju number 8. So I had to go. I even missed most of the Mets game for it.
Wow, that's
I know.
impressive. You would
That's
give up on the
commitment.
Mets game? Hmm.
I know. I got to listen to the 9th inning on my phone on my drive home. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Not really.
No, I think I'm pretty good.
Sweet. So we all don't like Temu Tensei, and that's it for us, you guys. Thank you all for being here. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to all of these people. And we're out of here. We're going to end it with this.
Like hell, we're gonna believe that. A goblin lord? My ass. You're just a damn goblin. Just a disgusting little goblin. And me.
Crimson set, it's just for the plot, but we all know it is probably not. Little chat with another slice of life. Biggles keeps talking about another villainess. And a tropeに越されているので、私たちはそれら忘れて分析します。It's the Biggles breakdown, another anime night, fighting all the shows and the plots. It's time for the Biggles